Here are 4 disturbing true movie theater horror stories that will make you think twice about your next trip to the cinema. Story 1. The Stalker in the Shadows, an independent movie theater in a small town. In 2015, a woman named Lucy frequently attended late-night showings at a local independent theater. One night, she noticed an unsettling figure lurking in the back of the auditorium. He was casually dressed, but had a strange, penetrating stare. Lucy felt a chill run down her spine, but she tried to enjoy the movie nonetheless. The flickering images on the screen distracted her until she noticed that the man had moved closer, now sitting just a few rows behind her. As the lights dimmed and the movie began, she couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching her. After a few minutes, she glanced up, and the man's eyes seemed to lock onto hers. By the end of the film, dread had settled in her stomach. The atmosphere was electric as movie lovers settled into their chairs, ready for a thrilling night. However, as the film began, a sudden commotion disrupted the audience. The horror movie's screams now intensified by the real-life chaos. A strange rumor began to circulate. Some claimed that the man's spirit lingered in the theater, seeking revenge on the films that had been playing when he died. People reported feeling cold spots in the auditorium and catching glimpses of shadowy figures during late-night screenings in the months that followed. The theater, once filled with laughter and excitement, transformed into a scene of panic and dread. Patrons left in shock, the film ruined by the tragic turn of events. As the credits rolled, Lucy decided to leave quickly. Eager for a thrill, they entered the dilapidated building. The figures could still be seen moving about in the shadows. To this day, no one can explain the paranormal phenomenon, and the friends vowed never to return, with only a handful of patrons scattered in the auditorium. She seemed out of place, staring intently at the screen, her face illuminated by the flickering light. After the film ended and the credits rolled, Mark stood to leave, but the girl remained seated, still staring blankly at the screen. Strangely, she didn't move or react during the film, even during the most suspenseful moments. Mark found a seat in the back and settled in, ready for a night of entertainment. But upon inquiring about her, the staff revealed something shocking. They had never had a child attend that showing. The only customers that night were a few adults, and there was no record of any girl being in the theater. Mark left with a chill running down his spine, unsure of what he had encountered, forever haunted by the girl's eerie smile. Haunted by the feeling of being watched by unseen eyes, he felt a wave of unease and bolted out of the theater. Outside, still shaken, he shared his experience with a friend who had been waiting for him. They started to feel an eerie chill in the air. Odd noises echoed in the silent scrapes, whispers, and distant laughter that shouldn't have been there. Undeterred, they reached the main auditorium, where faded movie posters hung crookedly. Its once vibrant walls now cracked and peeling. However, their jokes were short-lived when they heard an unmistakable sound. The projector worried to life, casting images of long-forgotten movies onto the screen. The friends, feeling a mix of terror and excitement, began to film the spectacle. They packed flashlights and brought a camera, hoping to document their adventure. Knowing she was being followed, she hurried out of the theater and into the parking lot. Just as she reached her car, she could hear footsteps behind her. His girlfriend screamed, bringing attention to the situation. Fearing they were not alone, the friends bolted from the building, their laughter replaced by screams. The theater staff quickly rushed to assist, but attempts to revive him were futile. In a panicked attempt to escape, she jumped into her vehicle and locked the doors. Glancing in the rearview mirror, her heart sank as she saw the same man standing behind her car, grinning. She quickly backed out and sped away, shaken to her core. Lucy could never go back to that theater and later learned that similar incidents had been reported, including other women feeling the same presence during late-night showings. Story 2. The Death of a Moviegoer, a multiplex theater in a major city. In 2017, unsuspecting crowd gathered for an eagerly anticipated horror movie premiere at a popular multiplex. In the middle of a tense scene, a man in his 50s slumped forward in his seat, having suffered a heart attack. As paramedics arrived, the entire audience sat in stunned silence. Hours later, after the crowd had dispersed, Story 3. The Phantom of the Old Cinema, a defunct theater with a storied past. In 2020, a group of friends decided to explore an abandoned cinema rumored to be haunted. As they moved through the dusty hallways and empty screening rooms, they set up their equipment and began to film, mocking any paranormal activity that might occur. Suddenly, they noticed the back rows of the theater began to fill with shadowy figures, laughing and cheering as if attending a real screening. Once outside, they watched as the lights flickered on and off inside the theater. Story 4. The Girl in the Front Row, a suburban cinema during a late-night screening. In late 2019, a man named Mark went to see a late-night thriller at his local cinema. It was a quiet showing. As the film progressed, Mark noticed a young girl sitting alone in the front row. Intrigued and a little uneasy, he tried to focus on the movie. However, the incessant thought of the girl nagged at his mind. Positioning his foot to walk out, Mark glanced back and saw her now facing him. A wide, unnatural smile carved across her face. They returned a few days later to see if the girl had been a one-time occurrence. These chilling stories remind us that the seemingly innocuous setting of a movie theater can hide dark secrets and real-life horrors lurking just beyond the screen. Thank you for watching.